Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, time for a little bit more simplifying algebra with the Batty Boffin. Now in earlier videos we've looked at when we've been adding together things, a plus a plus a. Here we're multiplying things, and hopefully you've been familiar with a little bit of the power notation with those little numbers up at the top. If you're not, look back at some other videos where we're introducing things like squares and cubes and higher powers. So here, instead of doing 2 times 2 times 2 or 5 times 5 times 5, we're doing a times a times a. We use exactly the same notation. A times a times a, we write as a cubed. Please note that is not the same thing as 3a. That means 3 times a, the number 3 times a. That means a times by itself 3 times. Very different. Just as an example, if a were 1, then that would be 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. That would be 3 times 1, which is 3. So different things. Don't get those two mixed up. A cubed is what we have here. Now here we've got some a's and b's, and as before we combine all the a's and then we combine all the b's. So we have got an a times an a times an a, so that's a cubed, times by a b times a b, so that's b squared. And as ever in maths we can actually miss out the times if you want, so that's a cubed b squared. Generally we write them in alphabetical order. You don't have to. That would be exactly the same thing as b squared a cubed. Multipliers of course don't matter which order you do them in. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. But normally we write them in alphabetical order. And finally down here on this one we've got some squares and bits in there already. So let's count up the a's. That is an a times a times another a. So that's 3 a's altogether. A, and a. So that is a cubed. And then for the b's we've got a b times a b times a b, there's 2 of them in there, times another b. So altogether that's 4 b's we've multiplied together. A cubed b to the 4th. 2 we pronounce as squared, 3 we pronounce as cubed. All the other powers we just say to the 4th power, to the 5th power, or to the 4th to the 5th, and so on like that. There's no special names for them. Okay? Talk amongst yourselves while I just change the board, and there'll be some for you to do. Okay, back now. So we've got 3 for you to try here. One with X's and Y's, one with P's and Q's, and one's with I's and J's. By the way, just something to note here. My X's, you'll see how I've written my times as a crisscross, and my X's is kind of curly X, which I've done by doing a letter C backwards and a letter C forwards. Some people do them like that. That's also fine. But if you could please get into the habit of not writing your letter X like that, you'll find it gets very confusing in algebra. Much better to write a curly X if you can. So, your turn now to pause the video and see if you can work out what these come to. You can do that now. Here we go. Right, we have x times x times x, so that's 3 of them multiplied together, x cubed, and then we have a y times a y cubed, so that's 4 of them multiplied together, x cubed y to the 4th. For the second one, the p's, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 p's, so that's p to the 6th power, and we've only got 1 q term, so that's very easy. And then for the i's and j's, we've got 1 I there, 2 more there, that's all, isn't it? So that's I cubed. And then for the j's, we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 j's. J to the 5th. There, that wasn't too bad, was it? I'll see you next time, Batty fans.
Mwahaha! Mwahaha! Mwahaha!